for yourself. And make sure to check out our streaming apps on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV for even more 3 in your town content anytime.
Okay, I'm looking forward to my conversation that we're about to have. This is Mark Norwood. He is the founder, the inspiration, the mastermind behind a very big event coming to the convention center this weekend. It's Metrothamcon.
That's correct.
Check one off for me that I said it correctly. Beyond this, I'm a little bit out of my element, Mark, but I'm glad to see you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Julie.
So this was your brainchild. Really, it's been 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. COVID set you back a year.
Correct.
But you as a kid, like so many other all-American boys, loved Superman.
Absolutely. You know, comic books and superheroes were kind of the thing that inspired us as children. We all wanted to fly, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what gave me the idea for this, you know, to bring some of those characters and inspirations to people, you know, who can come together in a group and just enjoy the fandom.
Well, because it's not just the comic books. Then from that comes movies,
right,
comes memorabilia. And as these vendors, you said you have how many coming this
weekend?
weekend?
We have 95 unique vendors from all over, like the Southeast. There's things from comic books, there's collectibles, there's artists, there's people who are bringing in films that they've, you know, indie films that they've shot. There's just all kinds of different vendors that you'll find there.
Well, it's a little bit like driving in your car and that old song that you danced to in middle school comes on the radio or something, right? It takes you back.
Yeah.
And maybe, too, if you're like me, you hear the lyrics in a different way than you heard them all those years ago. The same is true with the memorabilia. It takes you back, and maybe you have a new appreciation for it than you did when you were a kid.
It definitely triggers that memory that you have and that feeling that you had when you were a child.
Right.
You know, and who doesn't want to relive some of their childhood and get, you know, excited about something again. And even as adults, I feel like we need that sometimes.
So what you've done this year, I think, is very smart, is that you want, obviously, those who remember the nostalgia and the vintage ones that you're talking about.
Right.
But today's kids and today's teenagers have their own attachment.
They do.
So you've got Pokemon characters who are going to be there.
We do. So for the kids, we have, you know, Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Mew. They'll be out there doing meet and greets with the kids. Kids 12 and under get in free to our show, so we're very family friendly, and we want to encourage families to come out and have fun.
What is it, do you guess, about comic books, Mark? Is it just an escape from reality?
It is. You know, sometimes the grind of life can be difficult, and that is, you know, people's escape. You know, for those few moments they can read a Superman comic and believe they're in Smallville, Kansas, learning, you know, how to fly. You know, it's just, it gets them away from the everyday struggles of life.
Now, here's what gets me. So that's your warm, fuzzy feeling, and you're going to think, oh, that's sweet. But this year they've themed it.
Yes.
And your theme is horror movies.
It is horror, yes.
So I'm going to let you connect the dots on that one.
Yeah, so we're a multi-fandom pop culture convention. So that means we touch all fandoms, whether it be anime, horror, you know, sci-fi, fantasy, and this year's theme just happens to be horror. And we have a lot of, you know, celebrity guests from different horror movies like Leatherface, Pinhead, Jason Voorhees. You know, all those guys will be here doing, you know, photo ops and meet and greets, and they'll be in full costume.
I was going to ask you, so are they going to look scary? They're going to look the part?
They will, yeah. So you can get your photos taken with those guys. It's going to be awesome. We've got a walk-through haunted attraction. We have several horror-themed vendors that'll be there as well. And every year's a different theme. So next year is going to be 80s.
Okay.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Now you're speaking my language. So you said, too, though, that these celebrities who will be coming, and the vendors as well, are just as excited as you are because they've not had a chance to connect.
Right. Yeah, the entertainment industry has taken a big hit during COVID. And our vendors, you know, there haven't been many events for them to do. Most of them did a different event every weekend throughout the year, you know, and they're struggling to do 2 or 3, you know, last year.
Right.
And it's a good feeling to be able to provide a platform for them to come out and get back on their feet and start making some income again.
You know, there is an increasing interest I'm finding in, when I say young people, I'm talking college-aged, high school college-age students, in studying film in college, which I think is a great thing. You want that arts industry to flourish. You told me that you're going to have a lot of educational opportunities at this event, too.
Yes. So Jason Brooks, who is the current Jason Voorhees, he is a filmmaker. He's a special effects guy. He'll be there screening his current movies that he has coming out. It's Friday the 13th, Roseblood. So he's going to give you all the ins and outs on how to get started in the business.
Wow.
We also have Mick Strawn, who is a special effects guru. He has done special effects for the Blade movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Revenge of the Nerds, all kinds of different stuff that's very pop culture-ish. So you can learn from those guys if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Did you have any reservations when you first picked up the phone or sent the email to ask them to take part? I would have been very nervous reaching out and knocking on a celebrity door like that.
It's kind of nerve-wracking at first. You know, the first year we did this, it was a little nerve-wracking, but now they are just people like everybody else, you know, and they love getting out there and meeting their fans and giving back to the community, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now, with it being the horror theme this year, it is still family-friendly?
It is family-friendly. Of course, you know, if the kids are scared of costumes and masks, they probably need to stay away from some of the celebrities that will be in costume.
Right.
And then
but there's space to do that,
right?
There
is space to do that, yes. We've got Exhibit Hall C and D in the Convention Center for our vendor area. That's 36,000 square feet, you know, so there's plenty of room. They don't have to go over in that celebrity corner and see that if they don't want to.
And purchasing, they can find things that they love and they can buy them there on the spot.
Absolutely, yep.
T-shirts? You're going to have
T-shirts? There's all kinds of stuff we'll have there. And right now we've got a pre-registration special. If you go online to Metrothamcon.com, it's only $20 for the entire weekend.
For all 3 days.
For all 3 days.
Now, when y'all came walking up the steps, there was quite the group of you because you had the Pokemon characters and some of your own fans. 1 minute left, but do y'all have any kind of a fan group that people can become a part of?
Yeah, it's Metrothamcon Official. It's on Facebook. Everybody can join that. You can follow us on @Metrothamcon on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. And yeah, I've got an amazing staff. I want to give them a shout out too. I've got 100 people who are, a part of my staff, and they work really hard for me throughout the year, and I love those guys.
That is fantastic. Well, y'all are certainly a close family. It was fun to listen to you laugh and cut up before it was your turn to come on. So thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Don't miss the fun. Again, if you go on early, it's $20 for the whole weekend. Kicks off on Friday, runs through Sunday. Metrothamcon, this year's theme is horror. Go online, get your ticket, and I bet you'll see a couple of Channel 3 co-workers while you're there. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Recent